I wanted to ask you, like, okay, you was in the Bay, you was in Houston, you was in New Orleans. These is like meccas for just talented people. You know, they
Yeah.
always been places where a lot of people made great music and stuff. But
Yes.
you talked about the independence. So, like you say, back then you had tapes or you had albums or you had CDs where you could
Yeah.
get $8 or 10,
Yeah.
whatever amount
Yeah, you
to
get
get
like
your tape.
$6 a cassette, $8 a CD. Like you could get more money. So one thing about like labels from New Orleans and labels from Houston and labels from the Bay Area, they were primarily focused on, all of us were focused on, we don't need to sell a million records to make money, right? So if you're an artist, for example, if you're getting 80 cents a unit, let's say you're getting $1 a unit for each, for easy math for your listeners or viewers. If I'm an artist and I sign you, I'm getting $1 a unit, right? You just advanced me $500,000. And that's, I got to pay my taxes on it. I got to get my album produced. And then you give me another 250,000 to go on tour. And then you may have given me another 250,000 to do some additional marketing and street team and a couple extra videos or whatever. So let's say overall, oh yeah, $1 million because you would advance me a total of $1 million. Well, I got to sell 1 million records minimum just to pay back that $1 million you advanced me. Now think about how hard it is to sell 1 million albums. It's hard, right? So you think about it from that perspective. I'm getting $1 a unit. And most of the time it was probably 80 cents, but we're just basically rounding up to $1. So just for me, by you giving me this money, most of those cats who got that money didn't pay their taxes. So they're already in the hole with the tax man, probably about 300-400 grand. They went out and bought a car. They went out and bought some chains. A lot of these cats didn't buy property. They are like up to here. They're $1 million in the hole and they haven't paid their taxes and they need to sell 1 million records just to break even. So then if you don't sell 1 million records, you either A, get dropped, or if they say, hey, you sold enough records for us to reinvest in you, then they're giving you more money to do the next album. So then then you're taking that second deal, the second album money to pay your taxes on the first album. And you're in the hole and you need to get your project done. So then you're already still in the hole. So let's say you went gold. Okay, you're still $500,000 in the hole and your expectations like, man, I went gold. I need more money. You might get another $500,000 cash. So you're again $1 million in the hole. That's why you're consistently in the hole. So if you're an independent, right? Think about this. You're getting $6 a cassette, $8 a CD. If I sell, let's just break even on, let's just call it in the middle, $7 a unit. I sell 100,000 copies. That's $700,000 in full revenue for me. If I own the label and I'm the artist, I'm getting $700,000. Yeah, it probably costs 100 grand to market, maybe another 100 grand for manufacturing, but I got $500,000 in profit right there. Compared to being $1 million in the hole because I want to be a star and I signed to a major label. So most of these labels, like these independent labels, and the way we thought when I was at No Limit and I thought of my own label, it doesn't matter if one album sells 500,000 or if I put out 20 albums and sells 500,000, I'm still generating revenue. Now artists might be upset that, oh man, my album only sold 20,000 copies. But if you think about that, at $7 a unit, you're talking about $140,000 in revenue. So if you put out enough albums, you always have consistent revenue coming in, and you don't need to go gold or platinum. Like you go gold, then you're talking about that's a game changer, right? You go gold at you sell 500,000 copies and you're making $7 a unit. You got $3.5 million. So there was a time I was trying to do a deal to sign Houdini. Everybody remembers Houdini from the 80s and 90s. Friends, how many of us have them? 5 Minutes of Fun, One Love, all that. So I was trying to sign those guys, and I was ready to pay them a significant percentage. I was going to put their whole album together. They weren't going to get any advance money, but I was going to put their whole album together and drop their album. Now, if they would have put that album out, and let's say we sold, 200,000 copies, We're talking about $1.4 million after manufacturing some costs. They're probably looking at, $900,000. Now they went and signed a deal with someone, and they probably got, I don't know, they might have got 600,000, so they got 200,000 apiece. But they didn't know. In my situation, they would own their masters.
Right.
They'd own their publishing. I wasn't going after anything. I was just trying to generate revenue for them and for me because I'm a business person. But everybody wants to sign because they want that upfront money. And if you get that upfront money, your percentages goes down significantly. If you don't, you own your masters, you get a higher percentage. All of that stuff is important. And that was just the difference between what independent labels were doing compared to major labels.